And now, it's time for another episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. A show made by 12s from around the world, for 12s around the world. I'm Mozette, and here's your host and my dad, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, thank you, Mozette, and welcome to episode 621, your at 49ers edition of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, as your Seattle Seahawks get ready to take on the San Francisco 49ers. And hey, what can I tell you? Sometimes you might need just a little leverage, maybe just a tad. We're so glad you decided to join us, and of course, as always, alongside me is the 12-Man Fan Jam Show posse made up of fans from around the world. Of course, first, from merry old England, it is our buddy Matt, the yin to my yang. Hi, Matt.
It's so easy being green. Hello, Miss Piggy.
Undefeated in green, buddy.
Undefeated in green. Unbelievably undefeated in green. Loved it.
I know.
I had to wear sunglasses throughout the whole of the game, but other than that, it was brilliant.
How true, how true. And oh, look, there's Dustin. Hi, Dustin.
Hey, I wonder if you wear those old school 3D glasses with the different colored lenses, if they would look 3D on the screen with the way they are.
Ooh.
That'd be pretty sweet.
That'd be pretty awesome.
The last
man.
thing you're going to want is a 3D Bobby Wagner coming through your screen.
Yeah, that
Jumping
would
off
be
the couch to avoid the tackle.
There'd be some serious realism there.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of realism, it is from sunny California, man behind enemy lines, really behind enemy lines this week, literally down the street from 49ers headquarters. It's Statsman Mark. Hi, Statsman Mark.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
Wonderful, sir. How about yourself?
Well, when I greet everyone, you can just feel the energy just emitting from my voice. It's just unreal. Whenever we wear the Color Rush uniforms, man, they got to turn our mascot Blitz into Tron. Just convert him to just neon greens of hula hoops or whatever they want to do.
Tron!
Get one of those cool bikes.
Yes, that was my favorite part. I would play the game just for the bikes.
Yeah, I knew I would get Dennis with that Tron reference.
Tron.
1980 or 79.
Yeah, well,
Jeez.
if one more quick, if Gina Vincent's listening, there's a whole Tron joke I'll have to tell you guys sometime, that when we were in Seattle, these weird guys were following her and me and this other guy. We were going out to eat at the Cheesecake Factory after the game, and we were walking down, and these two weird guys started following us, and we were like, they started talking about how bad the new movie Tron was. And we had no idea who they were or what was going on. So it's kind of an inside joke. Watch out for Tron. So that's actually an inside joke, believe it or not. Yeah. Shared it with you and shared it with everyone. Unfortunately, I could not share it with Will.
You can overshare.
No, because Will's not here. He is too busy. He's too busy buying gifts for those less fortunate. Of course, I refer to 49er fans. But we hope he'll be back soon. And
he's got a lot of ground to cover.
He does. And we do too, because we've got a show ahead of us. What's it like, Fergie?
Let's get it started in here.
Well, all right, let's get this show started. The show's run just like a real NFL football game, 4 quarters and a halftime. First quarter, we have news with me, the news hound this week. Second quarter, we're going to recap that Monday night victory over the Minnesota Vikings 21-7 and those uniforms, maybe. At halftime, it is the best Seahawk team play-along game on the internet. 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia.
Of the world.
Of the world. And I believe Mark is the returning champ.
Wow, yeah, I already forgot.
He's as surprised as everybody.
Yeah, I am. I am.
He's already sold his trophy for new tokens, so...
Yeah, and when you can't remember your own trivia song, it's been a while.
That's saying something.
There's my Jeff Foxworthy kind of delivery there.
If you can't remember your trivia song, you might not be a regular winner. All right. Third quarter, we're going to talk about the 49er game coming up on Sunday in San Francisco against the Seattle Seahawks. We put all that information together, quarter 4 course. We make our predictions, our prognostications, and our game balls for that very game. Before we start, please like, share, and subscribe to the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Join us on our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We always have a wonderful game day thread on there. We're also on Twitter at Seahawk Positivity. Email at 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com. And we can download this podcast for you on iTunes and Podbean as well. Special programming announcement next week because Little Mo and I are coming out for the Chiefs game. That's right, you heard me. We're coming out for the Chiefs game. The show will be a little earlier than usual, so be looking at that for this show on about Thursday or Wednesday, probably Thursday of this coming week, because by Thursday, Little Mo and I are on a plane and we're coming out to Seattle, baby. So get ready, and we hope to see some of you out there. It'll be a lot of fun. But before that, we have a game, and before the game, we have the show. So let's go to the first quarter and news. Yes, news from around the NFL with me, Moses. Brought to you by this week's sponsor, the Kirk Cousins doll. Overpriced and just kind of sits there when you need it to do something. You like that? You like that? Not really? Yeah, me either. Bobby Wagner Jordan shoes sold separately because you know it's the Jordans. He keeps saying that. It's the Jordans, so it must be the Jordans.
Probably ate his Wheaties too.
I'm sure there's more than just that. Hey, when I look for news, I look for something goofy and fun or ridiculously off the wall, and I didn't have to go any farther than the NFC East for both my stories, so this is going to be exciting. First, apparently, New York Giants star Odell Beckham thinks that someone has a plan for his team. He feels that God has a plan, and it's all going to fall together. Whoever needs to lose, and this is all the other pieces that need to fall into place, I feel like they're going to fall into place, and we're going to be in a spot where we want to be. So in other words, he thinks God is a Giants fan. Either that, or God is a really big gambler and it's just putting it as close as he can.
Well, what did he tell you with the burning bush, man?
Right, exactly. He said, bet on the Giants in 2018. So here's the thing. If he's right, it is possible. It is possible, Giant fans. Here's what you have to do. The Giants will host the Titans, and they'll hit the road to play the Colts. Okay, in the next couple games, they'll have to win out. Then they'll have to have. Then the big circle is on the season finale against Dallas in the Meadowlands. Dallas won the first game, of course. If the Times playoff simulator had the Giants making the playoffs in less than 1% of the scenarios, if the Giants make it, they have to win out and then get 2 losses down the stretch by the Vikings, the Panthers, the Redskins, and the Eagles, and a loss by the Packers if they win out.
Wow.
So in other words,
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yep, there's a chance.
That reminds me of that NFC Championship game against the Packers a few years ago. Me and my buddy are sitting in the stands watching, and we were behind quite a bit in that game. And we're like, man, we're getting there. Like, all now we got to do now, get an onside kick, recover it, get a touchdown, get a 2-point conversion, go to overtime. We're like, it's possible, but I doubt it.
Possible.
Wow.
Possible.
And that
What do you
happened.
think? Zorni, you're our resident number expert, so tell us, what do you think about the Giants' chance of making the playoffs?
Well, they're about the same as the Raiders beating the Steelers. Oh, wait a minute.
Is that a tease? That happened.
Oh my goodness! If you did the money line on the Raiders beating Pittsburgh, even though the game was in Oakland, I mean, you make almost 1,000 for every 100 that you bet. Anyway, it's just unfortunately, Odell, we all want to believe. I just, it just ain't happening. It's
sorry, dude.
It's a great. I'm going to go out on a limb here. And,
you're going to say
like
God's
the sequel
not
to
a
Angels
Giants
in the
fan.
outfield.
Yeah, I'll wager the pink slip to my lamp and say there's just no way.
When you pass away, you're going to be so surprised. Maddie, the Giants, are they God's team?
Well, putting aside the fact there is no such thing, it then sort of gets to the point where I have to sit there and say, now, if there was such a thing, and there isn't, but if there was such a thing, and he's busy, listening to all the prayers and everything that he has to do on a Sunday, and, he's got to listen to all the prayers of all America and all the prayers of all of Europe, and, he's got a whole, file of facts of things coming in, like disease and children dying of, diseases that could be prevented. His first thought would be, do you know what? I'm going to let the Giants win and get the playoffs. The all-powerful should be far too busy to be worried about football, to be frankly honest.
Now, wait a minute. Just because he can't see him on Sunday, I mean, he's got DVR.
If I can't get Game Pass to run half the time, God knows how he's going to do it. Do you know what I mean?
He's probably got DVR. So
although the Wi-Fi up there must be amazing if you think about it.
Oh, you think?
He's got the
my
height,
gosh!
So he'll have all the good broadband, I suppose.
He would. So anyway, I guess we'll find out in the next couple of weeks. And if it's true, I may change my allegiances. We'll see. Speaking of the NFC East, I didn't have to go any farther than the NFC East to find my second story, and I love this story. The Washington Redskins, if they had a picture of their season so far, like I said last week about the Panthers, it would be a plane in flames headed towards a mountain. But it's been out of control. Tensions are high. Linebacker Mason Foster for the Redskins was named one of the team's 3 captains before the season. But then he had a private Instagram conversation was made public. And here's what he said. F this team and this fan base. I'm not effing with it or being the scapegoat to make fans feel better about all these big money people who ain't playing or getting dogged out. And he says, yeah, I'll try my chances and go to a winning team next year. I could not make this up.
Wow. I don't blame him.
Here's the worst part. Usually that's going to cause an issue. But the funny thing is, the players said they understood exactly where he was coming from.
Oh, dear.
Cornerback Josh Norman, we all remember Josh Norman. He was the second coming of Richard Sherman a while ago. Mm-hmm. He took a shot at Redskins fans earlier this season saying he wouldn't mind playing all games on the road next year. And safety DJ Swearinger agreed and said on the road you don't have to worry about fans booing you.
Oh, dear.
Wow.
Oh, dear.
It's nasty in Redskin country.
It's salty down there.
Woo!
That's hilarious.
It's so salty down there. It's too bad because they had gone up to such a good start, and then they went through a million quarterbacks, and now they've got a guy that hasn't played quarterback, Dustin, in 3-4 years, Johnson.
I'm sorry, who?
Exactly. That's the point.
Dennis, what was that QB doing before coming back into the league? He was like running an Airbnb, or he was just
something I think he was doing Airbnb. I really do, seriously.
Wow.
I mean, that's just like, can you imagine that? He's like, just admiring like the rose-colored, bedspread, and then there's a call and hello, and you're invited back into the league.
I wonder if they had to talk him into it. Like, no, man, this B&B thing's really taking off. I don't know.
Exactly.
You know what?
He's mixing pancake batter. I don't know if I want to come back to a six-figure check.
But you got to think, how toxic must Colin Kaepernick be that they sit there and think, no, ring the hotelier.
Right?
Ring the hotelier. I need that bloke who hasn't played football in years, who's only in charge of changing beds and paying maids. I need him.
Well,
now.
I've never believed Colin Kaepernick was a quality NFL quarterback.
Well, maybe he's going to be better than a hotelier, surely.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Maybe this dude is the next Kurt Warner. I mean, he was bagging groceries.
There you go, bagging groceries.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? But
string.
I want to thank the NFC East for providing us with some wonderful discussions tonight on the news. So thank you NFC East, and thank you me for the news. You're welcome. And that's the end of the first quarter.
It's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
All right, coming up on this 49er edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show, halftime trivia, weather, fashion, injuries, numbers. But next, we take a look at Sunday's win against the Vikings. No, it was Monday's win against the Vikings on Monday Night Football.
They do play Monday Night Football on Monday.
They do, and we'll talk about that right after this. What day is it? What are we doing? I don't know.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
If there's a better use for the internet, I haven't found it.
Holy shit, it's the second quarter.
I mean, does it really matter? Monday, Sunday? I mean, it's football, right? I mean,
it matters.
Yeah,
Timing is
if
everything.
You call it Monday Night Football.
They beat them on Monday Night Football. I said Sunday, but really, a win is a win.
The music wouldn't work. The music wouldn't work in any
back
other
to
day.
the future shit you're talking about here.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I guess you guys are right. And welcome everyone to the second quarter of episode 621 of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show, made by men, but I like it too. Okay, the second quarter, we are going to look back on the Seahawks win over the Vikings on Monday Night Football.
For her.
Yeah! Monday Night Football a game that was. Well, I don't know how to describe the first 55 minutes of this game, but I guess that'll be our job, won't it? And then next thing you know, it's 21-7. You go, oh, that looks like a decent score. I don't know what the hell happened the first 3.5 quarters, but all right. Matt?
Hello.
Hi, Matt. Tell us about this game. What are your thoughts about it?
Now, I've got a confession to make. Now, as you know, Monday Night Football over... Just turn the music down a wee bit. Now, as you know, Monday Night Football over here is actually Tuesday, very early in the morning football.
See?
Oh, so
it doesn't matter, guys.
But we still call it Monday Night Football. So I didn't actually watch. I was asleep for the first 3 quarters. So you got to imagine my surprise. So about 4:50. It's about 4:55 in the morning or whatever it was when I finally woke up, ready to get up to go to work and get ready. So I thought, well, I'll just catch the last part of the last quarter because you can win a game in the last quarter according to coach. So I turned it on, and
that's typically where the game ends. So
there was the score in front of me of 6-0 or whatever it was at that point, and I was like, what is this shit all about? And it's like you didn't have to go flicking through just to find out, what happened in the last quarters, as in, i.e., nothing. I went to the bathroom to start getting ready to come back, and then we'd won 21-7. What the hell is going on?
So wait a minute. What you're telling me is that we all sat through this game for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of showed up.
I saw 2.5
minutes
at the end.
Game. You really only have to watch like the last 5 minutes.
So allow me on behalf of the rest of us to say this.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
Because the rest of us had to sit through the rest of that game.
It was like that. I went to the bathroom and I came back and we'd won, and I was like, that's really fucking weird.
I'm going to work now.
I'm going to work now, and I was very happy, very tired, but very happy.
Oh,
I did watch after. So just to say, I did watch the whole game afterwards when I came home from work later in the evening.
Yeah. That was exciting, I'm sure.
But the first bit, I was just making dinner. I just wanted to see the last 2.5 minutes again, just to find out what the hell happened.
No kidding. Dustin, what's your thoughts on this game?
Well, my favorite part of the whole thing, and Matt missed it live. I mean, you watched it later, which is cool, but it was so funny watching the live. George Fant catching that ball.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I saw that.
That's my favorite part of the whole game. And then he turns and he runs upfield, and he's just so excited that Turf Monster gets him. He falls on his face.
Yes.
And I love the fact that Pete Carroll's like, man, he almost scored on that one, didn't he?
Well, little Mo missed that by like 5 minutes, and he had actually said at the start of the game, he goes, man, he said, I should have said for my prognostication, this is the beginning of the game, I should have said for my prognostication that Fant's going to catch a pass, because it's going to happen one of these times. And he had been to bed maybe 5 minutes when that happened, and I almost went and got him out of bed just to bring him back. But I went ahead and I recorded it on my phone, and then illegally, but it's erased now. And but I sent it to him, so we'll come
the NFL on you.
Yeah, but he was like, I'm going to say Fant's going to catch a pass one of these times for my prognostication, and then he goes to bed, and right after that is when he caught it. It was pretty funny, but that was awesome. That was great.
Steve Rabel's call was awesome too. He was like, he's bumbling, he's stumbling.
And if you saw the behind the whole access, they were like, "This is the moment when you crap your pants."
Yeah, that whole thing was awesome. That was fun.
Yeah, that was. Zorny?
Well, I had to, I was in the game thread, and I had to follow this one online. And there's nothing when you follow a game online. There's nothing quite as exciting as when you like refresh the page to see if anything's changed. So you can imagine the disappointment when it just remained. No, I mean, I did watch the 15-minute capsule of it later. What I like is that this is again Monday night, and all year people have been waiting for the Vikings just to have that kind of Viking game that they just have not had this whole season. Like they finally come alive, and Kirk Cousins shows up in primetime and all this stuff. And, it was frustrating to only, to just have, 6-0 and, but Seabass made all of his kicks. No,
he did.
But, it took a while, and then, and then boom, there it is. And so the margin actually was more than I thought it would be, but it was nice just to, to get another win and be 8-5. This team is just remarkable. I'm just so happy for this team. So.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, I don't mind games like that at all. I like defensive games. I'm not a big offense score 1 million points type of guy. I prefer defense. That's what I like. So the only thing that makes me nervous about it is when we're playing really good defense, but the offense doesn't score many points, and the other team is still one play away from taking the lead.
Yeah.
It makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's.
But I love watching defense.
Yeah.
And so close to a shutout. So close.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just that garbage time bloody touchdown again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Seahawks
Yeah, I agree.
were already packed up and ready to go. They stopped paying attention on that one.
I'm glad you brought up the Seabass making all his points. And that was your prognostication, which we'll talk about in a minute.
I mean, I know I
it
kind
was
of played
cold.
that. I can't play that card again, but I thought it was under the circumstances, it was semi-bold.
Well, I thought it was interesting. The Vikings had allowed 100 rushing yards in 5 previous games, and they'd lost every one. And here we are rushing over 200 yards, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, 40
That's good,
times.
right?
Wow.
And again, really did not matter that it really didn't matter that we lost G.J. Fluker. And I don't want to be low, like, because I think he's a huge part of the offensive line. He's a huge motivator.
Literally.
He's a great guy. But at the same time, this is the second time where this kid Simmons has come in and just you haven't missed a beat running wise. I mean, he has been as effective, maybe not quite as mauling as Fluker, but he's been pretty daggone effective.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean,
Yeah.
he steps in, and we do not miss a beat with the running game. So.
Yeah. So anyway, at that point, I guess what are some things that didn't go very well there, Maddie?
Well, you sort of alluded to it. The offense has got to score more points. I mean, you can't have kind of sort of only scoring in the second quarter and the fourth quarter. Do you know what I mean? You got to be consistent with the scoring. I don't like, as Dustin
They
says,
were
I don't like
consistent.
teams.
They had 3 points for most of the game.
Yes. It's not the consistency I'm looking for. But yeah, I think you've just got to score more points. That's the main thing. You can't have a team. You're right. It was one of those horrible situations where we could potentially have lost the game on a stupid field goal in the fourth quarter or something ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we've got to put it away.
Yeah, I agree. Zordy?
Well, it was, I guess, from a stat standpoint,
right.
Russell Wilson pass yards. I mean, I didn't even realize it was that low, but it didn't really matter. And he didn't have what was that run, right?
The 40-yard run.
40-yard
run.
And even he couldn't believe he had that much room, I think. So, I mean, he's a playmaker as much as he's ever going to be like some kind of stat guy. I mean, he still is effective or he'll still stay focused and, but the total pass yards was kind of a bit of a surprise, but that's because we ran 40 times or 41 times, whatever it was.
Unbelievable.
I mean, that is such old school football. It's
it
great.
really is. It is complete old school football.
That's 1970s football practically. It's like when a quarterback had like 188 yards for the game. Oh, what a great passing day for,
no kidding.
Sonny Jurgensen and all this. It's like way back,
Yeah, and it was sloppy. I mean, it was sloppy. 42 attempts for 214 and only 20 passing attempts. 42 rushes, 20 passing attempts. Wow. I think we're a little run heavy in that game.
Yeah, 10 completions though, so they still got their 50 plays.
Yeah.
But when you look at a box score for not just this game, but I bet any game, if you see a team that had 40 rushing attempts, they had to have won the game. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's almost, how do you rush that many times and not win?
Here's a stat I like. 19 first downs for Seattle, 13 of them by running the ball.
Wow.
19. That jumps out at you.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the kind of team that is starting to more and more remind me of the 2012 team that lost to Atlanta in the standpoint that San Francisco that year, they went to the Super Bowl and they beat Atlanta. But they breathed a sigh of relief when that kick went through for Atlanta and we went home because nobody wanted to play us at that point. We're slowly starting to build that kind of team again. So it's good to see. Let's go to the 2-minute warning and see how we did on our challenge.
Holy shit, it's a 2-minute warning.
All right, the Posse Prediction Challenge. First on the scores, 21-7. I gave it to Dustin for 24-13. That's pretty good, Dustin.
Yeah, thank you. Hey,
2
was
point.
That the exact score?
What? 21-7?
Is that what I guessed?
No, you said 24-13.
Oh, we're not giving points, not exact scores anymore, though, right?
Yeah, whoever's closest gets a point.
Oh, we talked about this. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
But If we have a 14-point Seahawk win, which we did, 2 of us got 2 points for that, and that's Moses and Matt. So we got 2 points for saying they win by 14 points.
Okay.
Prognostications, a point for Statsman Mark for saying no Seabass will miss a kick. I gave it to him. And a point to Will for equal turnovers. They each had 1, so we got that too. Game Ball Wilson, point to Jose, Will, and Moses. Even though the numbers weren't there, let's face it, this guy, when we needed to play, made it. Wagner, a point for Tom. The over-under was under. A point to Pascal, Tom, Will, and Dustin. Meaning week 13 looks like this. Will at 3, Moses at 3, Dustin at 2, Matt at 2, Tom at 2, Jose at 1, Mike Pascal at 1, Mark at 1. After 13 games, it looks like this. Little Mo still at top at 29, Jose at 27, Moses at 24, Pascal at 22, Tom at 22, Statsman Mark at 21, Mark Ty Turner at 19, Dustin at 18, Will at 18, Matt at 15. Meaning, guys, we cut into the lead. It was a laugher. It's still kind of quite a distance to make up in a couple of weeks. But at the end of this, Team 12, 118, Team Posse, 96. It was 30 points last week. This week it's down to what, 22? That's not bad.
Not bad.
Don't call it a comeback. We've been here the whole time.
Wow.
That's LL Cool J reference.
There you go. And let's cool into halftime.
Holy shit, it's halftime!
All right, so much more show coming up. Is God a Giants fan? Is God a football fan? Why does he hate Cleveland so much? All these answers and so much more around the corner. But first, another edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And that's coming up next.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Yes, it's halftime, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of the best play-along Seahawk-themed trivia game show on the internet. It's time for 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And here's your host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity. Oh, thank you, me, and welcome to another fine edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia.
Of the world!
The trivia game that tests the knowledge of both our posse and our listeners. Our contestants are the posse themselves, Maddie, Dustin, Statsman Mark. And here are the rules. So here's how the trivia game works. There'll be 2 rounds of questions. Each contestant answers 1 question each round. If they get it correct, they get 1 point. After 2 rounds of questions, there'll be a final trivia question worth 2 points. If there's a tie after that, then the tie players go on to a special secret overtime question where the winner becomes reigning 12-Man Fan Jam Show Trivia Champion and also gets a prize chosen especially for them. As an added bonus to those listening on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, the questions and possible answers will be displayed on your screen so you, the viewer and listener, can play along as well. If you do, please let us know how you did on the questions. Remember, there's no Googling, no phone a friend, and please, no wagering. However, there is a lifeline. Before taping this show, my 2 charming Seahawk fan children, Mosette and Little Mo, did take the quiz as well. If the contestants want to know what the kids said, they can ask that but once and only once during the entire game show and only in the first 2 rounds. Now let's get ready to play 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. All right. You guys know the rules. 2 rounds. You can ask the kids once per round. And then we have our final question. So, there are just 3 of you. Our reigning champ, Mark, can pick 1, 2, or 3.
It's still so shocking to hear. There's no way you'll lead off with a non-football question. So I'm going to go number 1.
Really?
In the spirit of Willie.
I can't wait to hear it. Mark.
I got to take the lead here.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, the spirit of Will is with me, so of course I will get the question.
So you're gonna take number 1, okay?
Yes.
Matt.
Well, there's no way he's gonna end.
No, never.
So I'm gonna go with 3.
It's too bad Will isn't here because you know he'd get it. And then Dustin is number 2.
That sounded rude.
Not what I meant. All right.
I feel like the poop emoji in that movie now. And we're number 2. We're number 2.
Well, hey, as you know, 2 of these questions will be about football, and obviously one will not. So, Mark, your question. It's about football.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
I should get a half point for that.
Like that really matters. Because,
That was the prognostication for this week.
The first time Seattle played San Francisco against the 49ers. Here I go again. How many turnovers did the Niners have in that game? 1, 2, or 3?
Wow. Okay. The first time. Wait, do you have a year on that? Not that it matters, but I'm just.
I don't think I do. No.
I thought the same thing.
Gotta be in the 70s, probably. But anyway.
Oh yeah.
The Niners were awful.
They weren't
even
great.
back then. Yeah, this is pre-Bill Walsh, probably. I'm going to go 3. We'll go 3 here.
Okay. He goes 3. Mosette went 3. Little Mo went 2. You went 3. Oh, Mark. No, sorry. It was 2.
You set me up to where I was expecting a nice ring. Then you just twisted the buzzer in my gut.
Twisted the buzzer in my gut.
Wow.
Dustin.
It's that old familiar song.
It is. Dustin, you have a football question, Matt. You know what that means. All right.
Shit.
Dustin, the first time the Seahawks lost to the 49ers in San Francisco was 1985. I'll give you a year. 1985. How many turnovers did the Seahawks have in that game? 1, 2, or 3? Yeah, always too many. 1, 2, or 3.
So I get that point then. I'll say 2.
Let's say 2.
Many. So.
Little Mo said 1. Mosette said 3. You said 2. Yes!
Nice.
There it is.
2, Dustin.
Quite the dramatic pause on that.
Yeah, I'm the host. I have to be dramatic. Matt.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for you to...
There's an American group from San Francisco called Huey Lewis and the News. Are you familiar with them?
No.
Oh, I've seen them in concert about 5 times.
They're on the Back to the Future soundtrack.
I've seen them like 5 times in concert. No lie. Once front row center. Okay. Anyway, which Huey Lewis and the News album had the most top 10 hits in it? Was it 4, Small World, or Sports? Which album from Huey Lewis and the News had the most top 10 Billboard hits in it? 4, Small World, or Sports?
No idea.
No idea.
So I'll go 4.
So he'll go 4.
First one.
It's 4 as in FORE, like they're golfing, by the way. Not that you care. So you said 4. Mosette and Lomo said Sports, which is a great album. But yeah. This answer is this album. And I know you have no idea what that is.
I have no idea what that is.
But guess what?
I'm wrong?
It's right!
Oh. Whoa. Look at that.
Matt's like, I don't know what all this extra noise means.
4 has 5.
None of it's helping.
Sports had 4. And Small World had 1. All right.
Fancy that.
How about that?
Look at that.
So they have that Back in Time song or whatever on Back to the Future that was pretty cool. I like that song.
Yeah. Matt and Dustin each have a point. Mark, not so much. So round 2 begins. Same thing.
The universe has repaired itself.
Oh, man.
And all is right in the world.
So bad.
Well, it's just the opposite of the Midas touch here. Yes.
It is. Matt, 4, 5, or 6?
Well, I got screwed on that last one, didn't I? So I'll go 4.
Okay. Dustin?
Flip
5,
and
6.
reverse it.
I'll try something new. I'll go 5.
Okay. Mark, you are 6. Again, 2 football questions, 1 not football question. Matt, you have a football question.
Yeah.
The Seahawks beat the 49ers in San Francisco on a Saturday in 2003. How many times did the Seahawks sack 49er quarterback Jeff Garcia? Did they sack him?
3 times later.
Was it once?
3 times?
Or 3 times being sacked?
He's playing that bloody song every single time. Is it not been every single week so far?
It's starting to become a thing.
How many times did he get sacked? Ready? Wait, here it is.
What?
Did he get sacked? Ready? Did he get sacked once?
No.
Twice?
No. It's got to be, isn't it? He got sacked 3 times. Why no?
Did he get sacked 3 times? Is that what you're
Three
saying?
times. Yeah, it's got to be 3 times. Because you keep playing the song, so I'm going to have to go for it.
Yeah, 3 times.
Oh.
I was at
You
that
know,
game and I do not remember it at all.
I protest. That was leading the witness, Dennis.
Do you know what, Mark? I completely agree.
No, sorry. You know, Matt, you deserve it.
Oh, now just because I did that last time and it didn't work. Remember, it was like
Actually, he could have really twisted the buzzer on that if it weren't.
Yeah.
Twist the buzzer.
Hey, Dustin.
That was the first year I had season tickets.
Nice.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
For the Winers.
So that's the point
2003.
I got
Well
that
done.
one right.
Wow. Hey, Dustin.
Yeah.
Congratulations for the season tickets. Did you ever see the show The Streets of San Francisco?
Oh man.
No. How old is that show?
This old 70s show had Carl Malden and had Michael Douglas was a regular on the TV series.
The only thing I understood about what you just said is Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas was a regular.
That's Star-Lord's father.
Well, okay.
Oh, no, that's Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell.
So, well, Michael, yeah, right. That's Kurt Russell.
Dang it.
Michael Douglas, though. Michael Douglas did play on the TV series Streets of San Francisco. My question to you is, what part did Michael Douglas play on the series? Was he Inspector Steve Keller, Inspector Dan Robbins, or Inspector Bill
Gadget.
Tanner? Or Inspector Gadget. Steve Keller, Dan Robbins, or Bill Tanner? What part did Michael Douglas play?
Well, the Tanners have a strong history in San Francisco, so I'll go Tanner, because Danny Tanner was the father in Full House.
Oh, my God. Wow, that's deep.
Yeah.
Well, and Mozette and Loma also went with Tanner. And you went with Tanner. I know.
I'll go with Keller.
I'm guessing Mark is right.
Yeah, Mark's right. Mark knows.
Of all trivia questions
Keller.
that I could have done in my sleep, it's a non-football. That's awesome.
You know the streets of San Francisco that well, huh?
Oh, dude,
Is that
I've
like
watched.
a Law and Order original show or something?
It just like in the 1970s was the year of the cop show. I mean, there was a million cop shows because it was the time where this country was crazy and there was just,
Well done.
I don't think a lot's changed then.
There was a time this country was crazy.
Yeah, unlike now.
Yeah, now it's completely normal. Well, crazy is normal now.
Yeah, now it's fine. Mark.
Now it's just normal.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, I'm glad you know a lot about the streets of San Francisco because here's the football question.
Okay.
In 2007, the Seahawks beat the 49ers in San Francisco. Who had the most receptions in that game for both teams combined? So who had the most receptions in that game? Deion Branch, Bobby Ingram, or Darrell Jackson, who played for the 49ers at that time? Deion Branch, Bobby Ingram, or Darrell Jackson, who had the most receptions in that game?
I'm going to go, you know what? Maybe this is one of the few games where Branch delivered. I'll go Branch.
Shit, the dude was probably...
You can count those on one hand, can't you?
Yeah, but it's the kind of miracle that you're always trying to pass along. So
You can count him on one hand, and those games were in New England when he played for them.
Oh, but weren't we excited when we got him? Mozette said Deion Branch. Lomo said Darrell Jackson. You said Branch. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. 7 catches. 7 catches for Branch, 4 for Ingram, 3 for Darrell Jackson. So, gentlemen, the score is Matt 2, Dustin 1, Mark 1, which means it's time for the final question.
Question.
Okay, as usual, it's high-low. Whoever's closest without going over gets the 2 points and will become 12-Man Fan Jam Show reigning halftime trivia champion. Okay, no pressure. The order will go Dustin, Mark, and Matt. And your question. Are you ready?
Nope.
Well, you know the 49ers and the Seahawks played...
Internet's slow, so hold on.
There you go.
They played an
Go ahead,
NFC championship game together. I want to know how many passing yards Russell Wilson had in that game. How many passing yards did he have in that NFC championship game against San Francisco?
Oh,
Russell
goodness. I don't know. I was drunk.
Okay. We move on to Mark now.
I was there, though, but yeah, I don't know. It came down to the... Dude, I have absolutely no idea because Russell Wilson's so all over the place with how many... He threw for like negative 20 yards last week and still won, so I have no idea.
You just want to pass? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I'll pass. I'll come back to it. I don't know. I'll say 207.
Dustin has no idea. I'll say 207.
Yeah, dude. I have no clue.
Yeah, dude.
He probably
Mark?
threw for 570.
Wow, that's an interesting question, because then you have to think, well, how many yards did Beast have running and all this stuff.
I don't even remember the score. I just remember we won.
I remember the score, but I'm not telling you.
Let's see. I think Dustin has the right idea. I'm gonna go 228.
207, 228, Matt.
So I can either undercut there.
Yeah.
I can price is right there.
Yeah.
So let's undercut. I'll go 206.
206. All right. The amount of passing yards that Russell Wilson had in the NFC Championship was 215, 215.
Damn it!
Oh, wow.
Thundercats! Ho!
Damn it!
Ho!
Wow.
The price is right. You can call me a hoe.
Our new champion is Dustin.
Boy, I had the right idea. I was on
Yeah.
my...
Hey, that
Something
internet wasn't that
Tama.
slow.
Yeah,
That
I know
internet
how to solve.
apparently not that slow, buddy.
And then nickname for
Congratulations.
Dustin.
Everything I said there was true.
Yeah.
You were processing the internet and it just didn't come up? Is that what you're telling us?
No, I was talking about not remembering the score, and I was.
And that you were drunk and yeah. Well, hey, you remember close enough. You were only 8 off. That's pretty good, man.
Yeah,
We got 23.
Yeah, maybe
Right.
you should have a drink before the fourth quarter in the prognostications. I'm just saying. But
All
anyway,
right, I'll work on it.
before we get there, it's been another crowd-pleasing, heart-stopping, award-winning edition of your 12-man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia
The world.
of the world.
The world.
We'll be back with the second half of the show right after this. Thundercats, take us out.
Oh.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Holy shit, it's the third quarter.
Oh, fun.
Oh, lesson learned. Always. The thing is, I worked out that between 207 and 228, there wasn't enough space in the middle. I thought, you know
You were
what?
all like right there. Mark was only 13 off.
Oh,
You were
nice.
all right there.
Yeah, well, because what was the final score of the game? Was it
23-17.
It was a 23-17.
Yeah,
I just
Okay.
remember that, yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was pretty low, and so it couldn't have been like a huge
Heavily
day.
tip.
God, it was so sloppy at the end too. The fumble and then oh man, that game was crazy.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember is the tip and then the interview. That's all I remember.
That sounds like
I know,
my last, that sounds like my last
Yeah.
date.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
He's such a lovely policeman as well.
Yeah. And with that, we welcome you to the third quarter of your 12-man Fan Jam Show. Oh, hey, you.
Hey, you.
Hey, you. Hello, sailor. Hey, you. Yes, you. Making a list and checking it twice. Like, share, and subscribe to the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Join our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Look for our downloadable podcast on iTunes and Podbean. Do it now before he finds out if you're naughty or nice. Too late for some of us. Hey, the Seahawks take on the San Francisco 49ers in San Francisco this coming Sunday at 4:05 Eastern Standard Time. That is 1:05 in Seattle. And Matt, for England, it is?
What time is that again in Seattle?
1:05 in Seattle.
That's going to be 9:05 then over
About
here.
9:05 for you over in merry old England.
Mhm.
Prime time.
A big game. It's really simple. We're not going to go through the playoff scenarios. If the Seahawks win, they're in. End of discussion. That's all you have to know. If they win, it doesn't matter. And that's all they have to do between now and the end of the year, apparently, is just win. And they're in the playoffs, and we're done.
And that's all I have to say about that.
And that's all we have to say about that. So
Wow.
the playoff scenario is rather simple at this point. But let us look at this game, because we cannot overlook this game, and we sure hope our team isn't going to. So let's look at the health of these two teams by asking our resident Dr. Dustin for the 12-Man Fan Jam Show injury report. Dr. Dustin, give me the news.
Doctor, give me the news.
Well, I don't think there's any chance they overlooked the game. Just throwing this out there because
Agreed.
a lot of them are pretty pissed off at Richard Sherman. So there's folks there. That's been all over the place. Justin Britt really doesn't like him apparently.
Oh, well, I love what Clark said. You're not here anymore. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
You're 3-10. You have your own problems.
Yeah, and then wow. Sherman was talking about, kids say the darndest things. So he just.
I actually like that kind of snarky.
It's fun. Yeah. So anyway, injuries.
Yeah. So starting with the Niners. The only player that's out for them is their safety. He's missed several games this year with a shoulder injury. It's kind of a nagging thing. I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce his first name.
Say it.
I think it's like the band from the Quad, but I'm not sure exactly.
It's come on, try it.
Jaquiski Tart.
Jaquiski Tart.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
I think I baked one of those before.
I had a Jaquiski Tart the other night. It was delicious. But yeah, he's the only one. You're right. Go ahead. I apologize.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no worries. So questionable players. You have Matt Breida. His ankle is giving us some issues, which is fine. Marcus Goodwin has a calf injury. He's questionable. Linebacker Mark something has a groin injury.
Future letters.
Nzeocha. Nzocha. I'm gonna go with that.
Nzocha.
And you have to say "cha" loud like that. That's how that works. The one I'm most interested in, and that I like. Well, I don't like because he's hurt, but I mean he was a problem last game. Is Dante Pettis has a foot injury, so even if he does play, that's going to slow him down a little bit, which is nice because he's freaking fast.
Yeah, and that'll make Will happy because Will thinks he's a dick. So
nice. Yeah. And then they have a cornerback who's out with a knee injury. His name is. They need some players with easy names.
It's a sanctuary city, Dustin. So.
Was that?
Nothing. Go ahead.
I think it's Kawan. It's K''WAUN.
Quan.
So, yeah, I think that's Quan Williams. And then our former player, Cassius Marsh, he's questionable with concussion.
You say that you go Cassius
Marsh.
Yeah. Okay. Very good.
And I think the cops just stopped on my street. I could hear sirens. It just stopped really close to my house, but neither here nor there.
All right.
Caught my attention though.
The CIA raid.
You get us an injury report, and then you can give us the police report later.
Yeah, there you go. Seahawks injury report. Out for the game, we have 3 players out. One is no surprise, KJ Wright. He's still dealing with that knee, but apparently it's getting better. And if nothing else, I think we'll see him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Kind of a surprise here, Rashad Penny.
Yeah.
He got through the game. But his knee swelled up afterwards. He had an MRI. There's no structural damage, nothing obvious. It just swelled up. So he's going to miss the game. Maurice Alexander is going to miss the game with a concussion. He's out. And I just heard my wife walking towards the door. I wonder if the cops are at our house for some reason. But
they're being too loud.
No, we're definitely not too loud. I don't know. If she comes and gets me, we'll know. I'll let you guys know in a minute. Hopefully nothing happens. Okay. Doubtful is DJ Fluker. He's got that hammy issue that he's had. He pulled his hamstring a couple games ago. If he's out, we're fine. We have a quality backup, and we need to have this guy right for the push at the end of the year. So I say rest him.
Amen.
Yep. Questionable. You have Bradley McDougald with a knee injury. Doug Baldwin. He's had a groin hip thing going on. And then Jaron Reed with an oblique injury, which is in your stomach. So Doug Baldwin, Bradley McDougald, definitely playing. That was talked about today.
I figured out what it is, Dustin. I had mentioned earlier that I had actually taped George Fant's catch off the internet or off the TV illegally and sent it to Little Mo. They're going to question you about me. That's what it is.
Wow. I got all the answers, so I'll hook them up.
All right, dude. Thanks for that injury report. Keep us posted.
One more.
Sorry.
Yep, there was kind of a surprise injury, and kudos to this dude. He is tough as nails. Yeah. Moved to the IR this week after last week's game. Is the Wolf of Wall Street, Michael Kendricks.
You're right.
Yeah, that dude broke his leg and then finished the game.
Yep. Yes, he did. and that's
So L.
Did
Thomas,
you know he broke
L.
it?
Thomas,
Yeah,
if
did
you're
you know he
listening,
broke it
that's how
till
you get
after?
contract extensions.
without any fingers. Yeah, I agree. Wolf of Wall Street, man. I'd like to see hopefully something good come out of him at the end of the year. We'll see. I don't know what his status is going to be, but we'll check it out.
His status is going to be jail.
Yeah. Well,
Sentenced in January.
So in that case, I guess he'll become a Brown. I don't know. So, all right. Are you done, or are you proceeding, or are you done?
Let me double check. You may proceed.
All right, we're proceeding. Thank you, Dr. Dustin.
Yeah.
Oh, fun. And what else is fun? Well, when we take a look at what the weather's going to be for our games, we turn to a guy living in England. Yes, it's time for the 12-Man Fan Jam Show weather and fashion report with Matty from merry old England. Oh, Matt.
It's raining man.
Yes, thank you, Moses. So we leave the rainy city of Seattle behind and head on down to the hot and desert-like Levi Stadium in Santa Clara for this week's game against the Winers. Now, since moving into Levi Stadium in 2014, the Winers have been marred with nothing but problems. They lost their first game there against the Bears. The owner, Jed York, had to give away free tickets because the stadium was half empty all the time. And then, even when they did turn up, most of them died of heat stroke, stabbings, and from boredom, waiting for their team to actually make a decent play. Now, fortunately, it looks like the Seahawks and the fans will be spared the heat this week, as the weather for the game is set to be grey skies with a moderate chance of drizzle or light rain, with temperatures just about reaching 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, what to wear for this game? Well, it's the last road trip of the regular season for us, and it is, of course, Christmas time. So there really is only one look for fans heading on down to the game. You need to dress like one of the characters from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Now, that could be Chevy Chase look complete with Santa hat, but personally, I would go with a Cousin Eddie look.
Oh, yeah.
Either the leopard print swimming trunks, white vest tucked into them, and a pair of goggles, or my absolute favourite being the white dressing gown, green trapper hat with flaps, a pair of black socks whilst holding a large orange chemical toilet waste pipe, whilst randomly shouting, "Shitter was full," whenever the Winers' offence is on the field.
Oh, yes! Beautiful.
Just throw Hawks jersey over any of that and you are good to go. That being said, it looks like it's going to be perfect Seahawks weather. So Moses, back over to you.
Oh, fantastic. As always. Thank you, man, from merry old England for a wonderful weather and fashion report. And of course, we now turn to our guy that has our number. Man with numbers and tokens all around him. It is time for Statsman Mark and the 12-Man Fan Jam Show by the numbers for our game. And maybe a couple of teasers, Mark?
Ricky, don't lose that number. Ricky, don't lose that number. Ricky, don't lose that number.
Well, I can't say there'll be winners. Yeah, it's been a long year in that regard. But
what's your record right now?
Well, the record coming in, I actually was 2 out of 3 from a week ago.
Good.
And I forget who was it that we hit on here. I think, what is it, Cleveland beating Carolina?
Oh, yeah.
And the Giants, man, that was a big kind of blowout.
You called
and then,
that one.
But, and when you put money on I didn't put money on it, but when you have a little bit of faith in Buffalo, guess what they do? God, did anyone see that on the news? That ice, that lake snowstorm that just, did you see that?
No.
They were buried. They got, it was crazy. They got 100 inches of snow in a matter of hours. And it just, yeah. So
thank you.
In a matter of hours?
Yeah, it was crazy. Just Google it or YouTube it, whatever. It was a ton of snow. Yeah, it was.
100 inches. No.
And they need people to shovel snow out of Rich Stadium or Ralph Wilson Stadium. I can't imagine being there. But
I don't want 100 inches.
Anyway,
I'm just saying.
Oh boy,
you're just waiting for Matt to chime in here.
So
you're setting him up, hoping he's going to.
I'm not biting.
I'm not biting. So the season record: 18 wins, 23 losses, and a tie. So you've only lost a few $100s if you've followed me along the way. It's just a financial flesh wound. Let's see, for the game against the Niners, we got Seattle's favored by 6, at least when I looked at the line. Over under 44. So for the games, having scouted somewhat the Vikings, I'm gonna fade the Vikings. We're gonna go with the Dolphins to go into Minnesota and at least cover a +7.
Wow.
So you get 7 points there. You know, I don't like to kick a team when they're down during the holidays, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to put a little faith in Baltimore. This is a big line for them, 8 over Tampa Bay.
So you liar. You love kicking teams when they're down.
Well, if they're giving tickets away to the people and they still won't accept it, I'm just going to like join in. And just,
you're darn right.
And just, one extra gut check there. And then this is actually, this is a pretty big line, but to show some additional faith in our beloved team, I'm going to lay the 6 and we'll take the Seahawks. And, Wagner may go on another nice long kind of journey down here. Take it to the house in their house, right?
Oh, that'd be nice.
There we go.
Oh, thank you, Statsman Mark. Fantastic. Remember, these numbers have been presented for entertainment purposes only. The 12-Man Fan Jam Show does not endorse betting on anything at any time. Please don't take these or anything we say seriously ever on this show. And that is your third quarter.
It's the end of the third quarter, bitches.
All right, coming up next, it's time to put all this together and make our predictions or prognostications and game balls for the Sunday game between the Seahawks and the 49ers. You are listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. For a transcript of this show, get out a piece of paper and pencil and write down everything we say. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, everybody. This is Statsman Mark. And when I'm not listening to Charo's greatest hits on 8-track tape, I'm listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show.
Holy shit, it's the fourth quarter.
So what you're telling us, I just want to clarify, Dustin.
Yeah.
You have every weapon from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles inside your house right now.
Aside from the katana, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
but I do
bidding
have
on
a
that
sword.
from
It's
eBay.
just not a katana. It is Jon Snow's sword Longclaw from Game of Thrones.
Okay, so you're kind of crossing your shows a little bit, but you have
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'll buy a katana eventually. I just haven't got around to it.
Okay. I've got around to it.
Amazon
Like it's on a list of things to do. Buy a katana. So I
When you
can
go
get
and
my
buy
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
You've got to wear the
outfits.
suit when you go and buy it, though. So when you walk into the shop, I need a new katana, please.
You're saying that like it's weird.
Yeah, we
don't tell
learned so
Master
much.
Splinter. I lost my old one.
God, you say we don't learn anything on this show. We learned so much on this show. Okay, wow. Okay, well, it is time for the fourth quarter of this episode of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. And aside from learning about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in this quarter,
I'm an expert.
You're an expert. We do make our game score predictions, our prognostications, and of course our game balls for the upcoming game between your Seahawks and those 49ers. So it's time for our picks. Let's start with Team 12, as always. Jose said score 27-10. Seahawks, game ball to Clark as we show Sherman we're middle of the road to the playoffs while he's hitchhiking to the offseason. Oh, clever. Ooh. Tom. So I don't see much of a different score happening this week. I go 42-20, the extra 3 points since it's in San Francisco. He unfortunately has given his game ball to Penny, and Penny will have 100 yards rushing. So
Oops.
I don't think that's going to work out, Tom. Little Mo, 35-14. Lockett with 2 touchdowns, game ball to Lockett. Mark Ty Turner, Sunday will be a struggle and certainly no blowout. He thinks there might be a little TRAP going on, a little trap. 13-6 Seahawks. Game ball to Dixon for scoring 1 touchdown in the game. Michael Dixon, that's Ed Dixon. Michael Dixon will have a 75-yard punt and a tackle. Interesting.
I prefer if Michael Dixon scored the touchdown. That would be fun.
That would be awesome. Mike Pascal. So for this week, the Hawks travel to Statsman's place to borrow some tokens and place some bets, which Mark will wisely lay off on his bookie. Pumped from their victory against the Broncos, the Niners will assume that since the Broncos have beat us, the Niners will too, and they'll soon learn that when you assume, the Seahawks make an ass out of you. Just you, because your team sucks. Seattle 24, San Francisco 17. Prediction, Sherman pass interference call and a Lockett touchdown. Game ball to Bobby Wagner and another game ball to Moses for pulling a Cleveland and going from the bottom to third in the Fan Jam Challenge. Thank you, Mike Pascal. For Team Posse, Will is not here, but he said prediction, Seahawks win 24-19. This is Santa Clara's Super Bowl, and they're going to fight like hell to keep us from clinching a playoff spot on their turf. Prognostication, Bobby Wagner gets a strip sack on Mullins. Game ball to Wagner. Matt from merry old England. Hello.
Hello.
Score, prognostication, and game ball, sir.
Moses, can you just remind us all where I sit on the individual standings at the moment?
Yes.
Oh, first place, man, no doubt about it.
Let me.
It's
You are
the one area where you don't have the Midas touch.
He's at the bottom.
I'm at the bottom, which
by
is
3 points. Like you're at the bottom.
Yeah, bottom. That's
like
that before.
You can't. If you tried to jump and get the person in front of you, you couldn't reach them. That's
right. So you will agree with me that I'm in a rather hopeless position, Moses. Yes, you'd agree with me.
I wouldn't say hopeless, but it's not looking good.
I mean, things are pretty desperate. So desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yes.
Desperate measures. I have nothing to lose now, Moses, except my dignity.
Well,
my only hope now is to close my eyes, take a deep breath, go all in balls deep, and hope to come strongly from behind.
Oh,
Matt is going balls deep, everyone.
I predict that this is a trap game, Moses.
Oh no!
Yes, indeedy doody. I'm gonna pick the whiners.
What?
And I'm gonna have to pick, and I'm picking them in the hope that everyone else, quite logically, reasonably, and intelligently, picks the Hawks to win, which is the most likely outcome. So that I end up being the only person next week who picked up any points, because obviously I was the only one that would pick a loss. So I'm the only one next week picking up any points, lifting me ceremoniously from last place and into the holy position of next to last. So I'm going to go.
Sounds like a suicide mission you're on.
A little bit.
It's a burn earth policy now. I've got nothing to lose. I'm at the bottom.
Scorched earth, yeah. It's scorched earth policy.
So
exactly.
I'm going full in. Yeah. So hopefully, yes, I should go from last place to next to last, which is better.
It sounds like a Japanese ceremony where they fall on their own sword. That's kind of sounds like what you're doing.
Swords. I'm not wearing an outfit.
It's a scorched earth policy, is what it is.
If they win though, well then I get no points, which means I should be in what position?
Last.
Nothing has changed. So that's where I've started from. So I'm going to go Seahawks 14, Whiners 17.
Oh my god!
I
feel sick.
I know. I'm doing it myself. the prognostication. It's a trap. That's the prognostication, everybody. And the game ball. There is no game ball because we lose, and you don't give out game balls when we lose. So that's my. And if you don't, I get points for that.
That being said, it's perfect Seahawks weather.
That being said, it's perfect Seahawks weather. Moses,
I don't
back
feel
over to
so
you.
well. It's a good time to mention that Matt will be on the show next week.
That is exciting.
Statsman Mark. Oh boy, Statsman Mark.
Well, I'm a bit more rosy. No, I understand Matt's logic. It's he's going for the win. Well, anyway. So I got this Seattle 27-17.
Oh, thank you. I feel better.
I think our defensive line, our defense will sack Mullins 4 times.
Okay. Ooh, I'd like to see that.
And one of the celebrations will be a teabag. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, as much as Dennis was saying sack, I kept thinking I'm waiting for somebody to make a teabag joke.
Yeah,
Mark.
I know. It was low hanging fruit, and I made never mind. And the game ball will go to Carson because this is no time to go out on a limb. So it's going to Carson. But you know, and I'm surprised with Penny. I did hear that his knee was bugging him, but man, I had no idea that. Well, was there a particular play that anyone noticed?
No,
and he just got
it was the third quarter.
He's a rookie, and this is past kind of that rookie wall type thing.
Yeah.
And his body's not used to it yet.
Well, and the MRI was negative. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, no, true. Yeah. But he didn't play. He didn't get a lot of touches early in the season, but still,
But we'll see. I'm cautiously optimistic because the MRI was negative that it's not something that will be long lasting. Hopefully, but I guess it's something we're watching. But like my son said,
it won't be long lasting at all.
No, and what my son said though too. I feel no offense against Penny because he's a great runner. We do need him, but it's nice to have Davis. And it's nice to have Carson. Yeah. It's nice to have McKissick. I don't feel all that horrible about the running game. So
and who's the guy that just came off of IR recently? Does that mean he's going to play? Is he going to be able to?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's been playing. So
okay,
he might get a little more time. The bunch.
He'll probably get a little more time. The rest Carson.
Run some screenplays to that guy, man. He's a burner too. Anyway.
We're not great at screenplays, but I bet he takes the place of Lockett in a lot of the jet sweeps.
Jet sweeps, like that. Yeah. Dustin, what are your thoughts on this game?
I'm going to say the score is going to be 35-10 Seahawks. I think we're still going to whoop their ass. Prognostication is that last time they put up a lot of yards on us.
Yeah, they did.
This time I'm going to say that we're going to hold them to under 300 yards total offense for prognostication and game ball to Chris Carson.
So San Francisco less than 300 yards offense.
Yep.
Okay, and then Carson.
Yeah, for the game ball.
I feel so much better now. It's my turn. The Seahawks head to the land of trolleys and Golden Gates this weekend to take on the 49ers. The 49ers are currently busy making vacation plans for January, as they've come in completely eliminated from any postseason hopes, like there were really ever any to begin with. Their offense is led by quarterback Nick Mullins, who is the all-time passing leader at his alma mater in southern Mississippi, which is kind of like being the sharpest dressed man at the Walmart. It's just, it's nice, but really. The artists formerly known as the middle-of-the-road Seattle Seahawks need only to win this week or any week to secure a playoff spot. Not bad considering many people figured this season in Seattle was going to be about as much fun as watching old McNeil Lehrer report reruns. And if you have no idea what that is, that's exactly my point. I did that just for Mark. Still, from a clinching standpoint for Seattle, this is a big game. And we all know big players make big plays in big games. And maybe right now in the NFL, there is no bigger player than 54. Watch my big player, Bobby Wagner, chalk up another turnover on his already glowing resume. That's my prognostication, is that he's my game ball and that he will cause a turnover. And watch Richard Sherman once again look for a hole to crawl into to avoid the press afterwards as he tries to tell them that it was just another game. No, it wasn't, Sherman. The Seahawks will win by a score of Seattle Seahawks 31, San Francisco 49ers 13. Book it. Take that, Sherman.
Take it.
Well, gosh, looks like it's time to bring another wonderful and amazing 12-man Fan Jam show to a sad close. We're so glad you decided to waste some time with us. We certainly hope you laughed a little and maybe you learned a little something. What did we learn? Well, we learned a lot. We learned that Dustin has
too much.
Yeah. We learned Dustin has issues with 49ers names. We learned that. We learned that Moses
That's
taped
not my fault.
It's not.
It's not my fault.
It's not your fault. Moses taped the NFL illegally. Mark has terrible sack celebration ideas. I don't even know where that all came from.
Earl Grey.
Yeah. Matt is going for the scorched earth policy.
Yes.
Yeah. And finally, and Matt got the tip, and we learned that I don't do 100 inches. So, on behalf of my partner in crime, Matt, our news hound, Shadowhawk Will, wherever he is, that's me, Mark, Dustin as the Beaver, Mike Pascal, Mosette, Little Mo, Roger Goodell, Jose, Tom, Mike Pascal, Mark, Ty Turner, Garrison Hurst, Jeff Garcia, J.J. Stokes. This is Moses saying until next time, go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. It's a trap. I'm telling you, it's a trap.
It's not a trap.
It's a trap. I'm telling you.
It's not a trap. This is not Star Wars, dude.
Yeah.
It's a trap.
Star's fully operational.
Oh, what a bunch of crap.